Hey there, I'm Sheryl Goodwin Magiera, your go-to guide for life's messy and magical moments. As a farm girl turned single mom, I often wondered what life would look like after my kids were grown. Turns out, it was all about rediscovering and loving myself first. On this podcast, we'll dive into topics that touch the soul, like love, loss, triumphs, and setbacks. So grab your favorite drink and buckle up. Welcome to the Imperfectly Charming podcast. Hello, and welcome back where we share tales of life's little adventures with a twist of humor. Today's episode, I'll Take a Little Cheese with That Whine, is a story of expectations, mishaps, and the fine art of making the best out of less than perfect situations. Imagine this. You and your friends have been looking forward to a glamorous rooftop wine crawl in the city, marked on your calendars for months. The sun, the skyline, a glass of wine. What could possibly go wrong? Well, as life would have it, quite a bit. From weather woes to unexpected travel adventures. Join me as we uncork the details of this chaotic day, laugh at the missteps, and learn why sometimes you just need to add a little cheese to go with that wine. Here we go. Last weekend, 4 girls and I headed into the city for an adventure. We had the day scheduled on our calendars for over 6 months. The party planner of the group spotted an event that sounded fun, a rooftop wine crawl. It was a bit expensive, but what's not to love about a rooftop on a warm, sunny summer afternoon? We decided to take a chance. The weather forecast for the weekend wasn't looking so good. Clouds and rain were headed our way. By the time we arrived at the event, it was barely spitting any moisture, hoping to dodge getting wet. As 55 happy and excited rooftop goers boarded the private coach, it was announced the first stop on the tour would be an indoor-outdoor rooftop experience. Perfect! Somewhere that would solve any rain issue. It seemed like we were on the bus forever, as over 30 minutes passed by before we arrived. All 55 wine enthusiasts piled out of the bus, then loaded by small groups using one elevator that took us to an inside charming bar. Unfortunately, the rooftop wasn't open for the tour. Rats. We were spread out on both sides of the bar and were seated at small tables loaded from edge to edge with 3 wine selections and a glass of water per person, along with a small bowl of crackers for the table. It took the staff a while to begin the wine tasting. Then suddenly, there was a time constraint and we had to down glass 1, 2, and 3. Time to go. What? We barely had time to savor each wine, then headed down the same elevator, once again in small groups. The next destination took less time. However, when the bus took a sharp right turn, as I looked directly out my window, it appeared like the driver was going to hit a parked car. We all held our breaths, moved our hips over, thinking surely the driver would throw it in reverse and have a redo around the corner. That wasn't the case, as we all heard a loud crunch, then metal on metal scraping. Shockingly, the bus driver kept going. Sir? Since we were on a side street, the traffic wasn't moving very fast, and by the time we arrived at rooftop number 2, the car's owner was screaming at the driver while on his cell phone as we exited the bus. No words. The host scurried everyone inside, told us to form a line and use elevator number 5 to take us to the rooftop bar. Once again, in small groups, we made our way to the top floor. As we piled off, there was a few other groups gathered, looking for the event. There was nothing, no rooftop bar or anything that remotely resembled one, for the love of. Back down elevator number 5, only to find the 2 hosts standing in the back area of the hotel directing us to the ground floor patio that wasn't able to accommodate most of the group. We were also guided through a buffet-type line to pick up 3 plastic cups, each with a small amount of liquid. There was also 2 small platters of some sort of fried croquette, clearly not enough for 55 wine drinkers, needing a little nourishment to put in their stomachs. The host ended up serving a 4th wine to help calm the growing frustration. On to rooftop number 3. Once again, we were instructed to use 2 small elevators to an actual rooftop. We grabbed a table and then noticed the gentleman with the wine cart leaving and heading inside. It wasn't raining, and the temperature was mild, and the host announced to our table we would be moving inside to the 3rd floor. Are you kidding me? We weren't going anywhere. If we had to stay and buy our own wine at the bar, we would. By this time, most people were getting irritated, and within 10 minutes, the gentleman with the wine cart reappeared. I think the host realized she would have a mutiny on her hands. Oh, and while you're serving wine, please give us some food. Even though the day was not how we planned, we tried to make the most of the situation. We learned our lesson and will do better research prior to booking another rooftop wine crawl. In the meantime, I'll take a little cheese with that wine. Cheers. I am happy to report we had a fabulous rooftop brunch the following day. As we wrap up today's episode of I'll Take a Little Cheese with That Wine, thank you for joining me on this bumpy ride through a wine crawl that went slightly off the rails. Despite the rain, a misnavigating bus, and the elusive promise of rooftop bars, the spirit of adventure and a little humor kept the day from souring completely. It's true what they say. Sometimes it's not the destination, but the journey, and the company you keep that makes for memorable stories. And while the wine may not have flowed as smoothly as hoped, the laughs were plentiful, proving once again that laughter really is the best medicine, especially when paired with a good glass of wine or 3. Remember, when plans fall apart, a little creativity and a lot of laughter can turn any situation into a cherished memory. So here's to finding the joy in the unexpected and to hoping that your next adventure is just as memorable, if not more smoothly executed. Cheers to life's surprises, and remember, when things get tough, a little cheese with that wine might just be the perfect pairing. See you soon. If you loved this episode, you won't want to miss my free workbook, 7 Simple Ways to Elevate Your Life. Head over to the imperfectlycharming.com website to snag your copy. And hey, if this podcast resonated with you, do me a favor, like, share, and hit that subscribe button. And until we meet again, shine on, friends.